Hi, my name is Alia. Welcome to Yoga for our Nervous System. So today we're going to be using the power of breath and movement to get out of our fight or flight or our sympathetic nervous system and transition more into our parasympathetic nervous system, where we allow the body to calm down, to slow down, and coming into that rest or digest system. So it's in this state that we can start to think clearly, we can slow down, we can give our bodies and our minds a chance to heal on their own. So grab anything that you need to be comfortable, a blanket, a pillow. If you need some blocks or some books for support, you can bring those with you. And just set up your space, maybe light some candles and get ready to relax. And we are going to start in child's pose today, so you can take your time to get there. We're going to begin by coming onto our knees. You can have your knees about hip distance apart. We're going to bring our heels together, sitting back on the heels. You can begin to just drop the head and the chest forward, maybe extending the arms out in front of you. And if the floor feels really far away, I invite you to bring a support underneath your forehead. So a blanket, a pillow. We want to allow our foreheads to relax down. So finding this comfortable position in child's pose. Begin to relax the shoulders away from the ears. And begin to feel your forehead pressing into the earth or into your support. Closing down the eyes and just starting to settle in to our practice, to our mat, to the space. And I want you in this position to find a way to make it feel a little bit more comfortable. So if that means bringing some more support underneath your sit bones, perhaps underneath the knees, taking however long you need to feel this pose in your body, to feel it in the most comfortable way possible. So as we go through our practice, we always want to focus on finding a way to make it feel good in our own bodies. We all have different structures, different points of tension or pain. And this practice is really about making it for ourselves. And once you're there, I invite you to just gently begin to tap into your breathing. Just noticing the flow of air as it comes in and out. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of the back body. As we breathe here, just enjoying the next few moments to tune into the breath. Our breath is our anchor to this present moment. It is our most powerful tool that we can use at any time to bring us back to ourselves, to become aware of our state, of how we're feeling, and to allow us to calm our nervous system. And for our next couple breaths, I invite you to lengthen your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. Just a gentle breathing exercise. Lengthening our exhales signals to our body that it's okay to relax. It begins to switch our bodies from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic, where we allow ourselves to relax and heal. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly start to lift the head, walk the hands slowly back into center. Keep your eyes closed here. Lifting the head, lifting the chest, and come all the way back up. Perfect. We'll take a moment here to just roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Just a couple times. Good job. And now staying where we are, we're going to stay on our knees. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can always bring some support under the knees or feel free to sit however is most comfortable for you. We're just going to get the body moving, get the energy flowing a little bit as we begin this practice. So on our knees, you can have your hips down on your heels, or you can sit up if that's more comfortable. We're just going to start to swing the body side to side. So allow your arms to be fully relaxed. Let your shoulders be nice and heavy. We're just going to swing the arms side to side. Let the head and neck follow too. And while we do this, I invite you to close your eyes once again. Just feel how this feels in your body, maybe shaking out the wrists, shaking out the shoulders, the arms, shake out the head and the neck. Just start to find a bit of free movement here as we shake out the upper body. Taking deep breaths in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in, sigh it out nice and loud. And last one, make it even louder. Breathe in and sigh it out. And then we'll find stillness. Place the palms on the knees. Close the eyes. Just enjoy 2 breaths here. Feel the energy flowing through the body. Use the breath to lift the heart. A lot of times when we are feeling stressed or nervous, we tend to crunch our shoulders, we drop our head, and the way that we sit and stand physically has a huge effect on the way that we feel. So lifting the heart, what does it feel like to sit up nice and tall, to open the chest, lead with the heart. Take another breath in, and then let it go. Good job. Going to make our way to a tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees. You're going to spread out the fingertips nice and wide here, lining up wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll untuck the toes here. We're going to inhale, roll the shoulder blades together, slightly squeeze the elbows and drop the belly down. Begin to lift the chin up towards the sky. And then exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, press the earth away from you, cat pose. Inhale to cow, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up through the heart. Exhale, start to round, opening the back of the heart up towards the sky, tuck the tailbone. Inhale. Good job. We'll start to find this movement with our own breath. Taking about 3 rounds here. Inhale as we open up. Exhale as we round. We're just warming up the spine here. Nice slow movements. Focusing on the curves of the spine. See if you can exaggerate them. Good job. And after your last exhale, we'll come back to a neutral spine. This time we're going to turn our fingertips to face towards us. So front of the wrists are facing the front of the room, fingertips face towards the knees. If you're already feeling a nice stretch in the wrists here, you can stay here, or we'll start to shift the hips back slowly, stretching through the front of the wrists. And you control how deep you want to go here. So shifting the hips back as much as it feels good. Stretching through the front of the wrist. Take a breath in and a breath out. Slowly come back to center. We're going to flip the hands so that the tops of the hands are on the mat. Fingertips pointed towards us, and same thing, breathe in. Exhale as you lean back. This one can be a little bit more intense. You can always do one hand at a time if that feels better. We'll hold here for 2 breaths. Notice where you begin to feel sensation and see if you can meet this sensation with your breath. Good job. We'll slowly make our way back to center. Release the hands, sit back on the heels, shake out the wrists. Good job. Always good to release and to get the blood flowing back into our muscles whenever we do a pose where we are constricting blood flow, such as that one. And usually we can feel it once we get out of the pose. We feel like we need to shake it off a little bit, let the blood rush back, and that's where we actually get the benefit of the pose. So next, we're going to come back into our tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes and get ready to come into our first downward dog. So by setting up our foundation, we can come into a nice strong downward dog. So spreading out all the fingers, pressing into the thumb and index finger, tucking the toes will lift the knees, start to send the hips towards the sky. Keeping the knees nice and bent, we're going to start to walk out the feet. So bend into the right knee, straighten into the left, and then switch. So walking out our dog. Continue to take nice deep breaths here, pressing the palms into the earth, lifting the hips nice and high. We're pulling the torso towards the thighs as we walk out the legs here. Begin to listen to the sound of your breath. Notice how it changes as the shapes of our body change. Take 2 more breaths here. Just continue to walk out the feet. Nice generous bend in the knees. Good job. And then we'll find stillness here. Maybe straightening into the legs a little bit more. Allow the heels to drop towards the floor. On our next inhale, we'll shift the weight into the left foot. Lift the right foot up straight behind you. And then we're going to bend into the right knee, coming into pigeon pose. We're going to bring the right knee towards the right wrist, the right ankle towards the left wrist. And then we're going to drop the leg down, walk that left leg back behind you until the hips come towards the floor. You can untuck the left toes, and I invite you at this time to bring any of your supports that you have with you. You can bring a block or blanket under the right hip. You can also bring a block or blanket down in front of you. So you can stay here lifted on the palms if this is enough for you, or we can start to come down to the forearms and maybe allowing the forehead to begin to relax down to the floor. And in this pose, we're stretching through the right and the left hip. And the closer our right ankle is towards that left hip, the less intense it will be. And the more parallel that right leg is to the top of our mat, the more intense it will be. So we want to stay lifted in the center of the hips rather than dropping over towards that right hip too much. And we'll take a couple breaths here as we start to settle in. This pose can sometimes take a few moments to get comfortable, to allow ourselves to feel like we can hold it here. So grabbing whatever you need. And once you're there, relaxing towards the earth, perhaps you can stack fists to relax the forehead down. Use your props. And again, just taking note of where we feel sensation. See if we can breathe all the way into that right hip. And then as we exhale, just imagining tension releasing from the right hip, melting into the earth. We'll take 1 more breath like this. Inhale, filling up, and exhale, releasing that tension into the earth. On our next breath in, we'll slowly start to lift up. We're going to come onto our forearms. You can remove your props out of the way. Coming onto palms, we're going to tuck the left toes underneath, lift that left knee. Pressing into the hands, we'll come all the way back into downward dog, walking out the legs. Taking a moment here before we find our second side to allow the blood to flow back into that right leg. Good job. And then we'll inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, bend that left knee, pigeon pose on the opposite side. Walking the right leg back till the hips come down, untuck the toes. An option to stay lifted here, or we can come all the way down onto forearms. Maybe relaxing the forehead onto a blanket or block, or onto the earth. Good job. And then once we've settled in, just taking a moment here to notice where we might be holding on to extra tension. See if you can wiggle your fingers and toes and then let them go. Maybe holding on to tension in the forehead, the jaw. See if you can soften the bones into the skin. Using your breath, using every exhale to relax and soften through the hips, the shoulders, the neck. Good job. Taking 2 more breaths here. Nice deep inhale through the nose, sending the breath all the way down to the belly, to the lower back. And then as we exhale, releasing tension as we melt and soften into the earth. Always listening to the sound of your breath, keeping us anchored in this moment. Remembering that all we need to do is to just be here, to breathe. And the benefits of our practice will show up. And on your next inhale, we'll slowly start to lift up, lift the head, lift the chest. We're going to, rather than coming back into our downward dog, we're just going to shift onto the hip and we're going to cross our legs. I'll turn this way so you can see me. We're going to come into a nice cross-leg position. I invite you to bring a blanket or pillow underneath your seat. We're going to begin by extending our right arm out next to us. We're just going to start walking those fingertips away from us. And then we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up and over. Nice side stretch here. So we can really bend into that right elbow. Breathing into the left side of the body. Good job. Press into the right palm. We'll switch sides. Left hand comes down next to us. Walk those fingertips away from you. Reach the right arm up and over. And again, we can always bend into the left elbow, come onto the forearm if you'd like to go deeper, but making sure that right hip doesn't lift off of the earth. Pulling the right shoulder blade back behind us. Good job. And we'll switch sides once again. Coming onto the right side, reach the left arm up and over. Inhale. Exhale, press into the palm, switch. Good job. Breathe in, extend the right arm up and over. Breathe out and switch. And feel free to close down the eyes here once you have the hang of the movement. We'll continue to flow side to side with the breath. And feel free to also bring your gaze towards your hand as it reaches up and over, finding a little flow. Feeling rooted through the sit bones, through the hips. We'll do 2 more. And then we'll meet back in center, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Good job. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Allow the knees to fall out to the sides. Sitting up nice and tall here as always, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll bring our hands onto our feet. So you can bring your fingertips onto your big toe. Just start to give yourself a nice little massage. Pressing into the big toe, coming all the way down the inside of the foot. Can you also close the eyes here to just feel into the feet. Just a couple more seconds here. And then we're going to take a nice big inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips. Nice gentle forward fold here. Option to bring a blanket or a pillow underneath your forehead or chin or chest, just to give yourself something to relax onto. We'll be here for a couple breaths. You can keep your hands on your feet or maybe walk them forward, extending them out in front of you. Relax the head, relax the neck, maybe shaking out the neck. And as we breathe, we want to focus on sending the breath all the way down the spine, through the hips, through the inner groin area. And then exhale, we soften the bones into the skin, soften the forehead, the jaw, the face. Can you still hear the sound of your breath? Good job. We'll start to walk the hands back to center. Once again, sitting up nice and tall, lifting the heart, always leading with the heart. One more breath in, and then breathe out. We're going to use our hands to close our knees and bring the soles of the feet onto the floor. Staying in this position, we're going to have the knees bent. We're going to bring the hands out behind us. So fingertips can point towards the body or away from the body, whatever feels better. We're just going to take a nice inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the heart, lift the chin, look up. And then as we exhale, we're going to round, tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, look down. Good job. One more time. Inhale, look up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, looking down, tuck the chin, stretching the back of the neck. Good job. Coming back to center, we're going to bring the hands on the backs of our thighs. Again, we want to keep leading with the heart opening up through the chest. So as we do this, you can slightly lean back a little bit. Use your hands on your thighs to give you that support. We're going to come into boat pose, and we have a few variations here. So we can start by just lifting up one foot off of the floor, flex the toes, and then tap the heel down. And we'll come to the other foot, lift it up, flex the toes, tap the heel down, and then we'll switch. So lift the left heel up, switch to lift the right heel up. Good job. A couple more times. Continue to lean back here using your core, pulling the navel in towards the spine as we keep reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Perfect. If you're feeling comfortable here, stay here. Otherwise, we'll work on lifting both legs at the same time, flexing the toes towards us. Squeeze the legs together, keeping the core engaged. Good job. And we can either stay here or we can begin to straighten into one leg. Maybe doing one at a time, maybe straightening both. And then we can work on extending the arms out in front of us or above us. So many different options here. Find your version of boat pose. And we're going to hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep pulling the core in. 6. Open the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2. And for the last couple seconds, we're going to make our way down towards the floor without dropping the legs. So we're going to make our way down as slowly as possible. One vertebrae at a time. Slowly, slowly, slowly extend the arms, extend the legs, and then slowly come to lie down on the floor. Let everything go. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Good job. We're going to reach the arms overhead. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. Reach, 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 reach. Take a nice big breath in. And then exhale. Let it all go. We're going to start by hugging the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side, massaging out the lower back. Slightly tucking the chin. Lengthen the back of the spine. Good job. And then we're going to drop the knees over towards the left side, coming into a gentle twist. Extend the arms out next to you, keeping both shoulders grounded here. Option to bring a blanket between the knees or underneath the shoulders or the head. And as we twist, just focusing on the breath here. So inhale through the nose, filling up the belly, ribs, chest, and then exhale, chest, ribs, belly. We'll do one more breath like that. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Good job. We're going to slowly use your hands to guide your knees back to center. Hug the knees into the chest one more time, and then we'll switch sides. Drop the knees over towards the right. Extend the arms out next to you. Relax the shoulders down, relax the jaw, the eyelids. And I want us to begin once again to lengthen our exhales a little bit longer than our inhales. So you can count your inhales for 1, 2, 3, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can begin to lengthen your exhales even longer, making the counting work with your own breath. Continuing to breathe this way, we'll slowly lift our knees back to center. We're going to come into happy baby pose. So we're going to bring the knees nice and wide, bringing our arms to the inside of the knees. We can grab onto the ankles, the shins, the outside of the feet, or we can use the pointer finger and middle finger to hook around the big toes. We then want to focus on pointing the soles of our feet towards the sky. And then as we breathe, we're going to gently put pressure either on our feet or on the ankles to pull the knees down towards the armpits. So knees are nice and wide here. Working on keeping the lower back connected to the floor if possible. You can find stillness or give yourself a little rock side to side once again. And then coming back to our breath, we want to focus on lengthening the exhales. Just 1 or 2 counts longer than our inhales. So counting your inhale, adding 1 or 2 more seconds to your exhale. Using our exhales to soften, to release. On your next exhale, we'll let go of our happy baby. We'll bring the feet back down to the floor. Extend the legs out long, extend the arms out next to you, getting ready for our final Shavasana, our final relaxation pose. And here we can begin to close down the eyes if you haven't already. Allow your arms to fall out to the sides with palms facing up. Allow your feet to fall out to the sides. You can sort of wiggle the spine to find some more comfort here, grabbing your blanket, your pillow, whatever you need. We're going to take 3 breaths together. I want us to inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, we're going to purse our lips as if we're blowing through a straw. We're going to exhale all the air out nice and slow. We're going to do this together. So we'll inhale. Exhale, purse the lips as if blowing through a straw. Good job. Once again, inhale. Purse the lips, exhale, blow out. And again, breathe in. Blow out, exhale. And last one, breathe in. And then as you exhale, just noticing how pursing the lips slows down the exhale, making it nice and long. Feeling that heaviness in the earth as we let go of all the air in our lungs. And then gently just returning back to normal breath, letting go of any control over the breath here. Begin to soften through the forehead, the eyelids, the jaw, all the way down the back of the neck, the shoulders, nice and heavy. Softening through the arms down to the palms, the fingertips. And melt through the chest, the ribs, the belly, the hips. Allow them to sink into the earth, melting through the thighs, the knees, the shins, the ankles, all the way through the toes, feeling nice and heavy, soft and warm. And as we close our practice today, just remembering that we have all of the tools that we need inside of us to be able to slow down, to calm our nervous system when we need it, to allow us to think clearly, to change our state when we're feeling stressed or anxious. And our most powerful tool is our breath. And using our breath with the power of our body and movement to be able to change our state at any time. And realizing this power can really allow you to take control back over your mind and your body. And all we need to do is continue to practice and to strengthen the tools that we have so that we know when to use them, how to use them, and how to gain our power back. And feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. And I hope you enjoyed the practice today. And have a great, wonderful rest of your day and evening. Namaste.